Cook County Jail sits on the west side of Chicago, a massive complex of concrete and steel that operates every hour of every day. It is not a prison in the traditional sense. It is a jail. The people inside are overwhelmingly awaiting trial. Most have not been convicted of any crime. Their legal status is unresolved, but their confinement is immediate and absolute. Cook County Jail is one of the largest single-site jail systems in the United States. At times, its daily population exceeds that of many state prison systems. The jail is administered by the Cook County Sheriff's Office and serves the city of Chicago and surrounding areas. Its scale defines everything that happens inside. Housing units stretch across multiple divisions. Movement is constant. Control is fragile. If stories like this matter to you, consider subscribing, because what happens next reveals how this system truly works. The jail primarily holds people arrested under Illinois law who cannot post bond or who are ordered detained by a judge. Some stay a few days. Others remain for months or years as their cases move slowly through crowded courts. The population turns over constantly. This churn creates instability. There is little time for assessment. Little time for classification. Little time to separate people who should never be housed together. Violence is a persistent feature of daily life inside the jail. Assaults between detainees occur regularly. Stabbings and beatings are documented in internal reports, civil lawsuits, and federal investigations. Officers are also frequent targets. Some are punched, cut, or attacked while attempting to restore order. Many units operate in a state of permanent tension, where minor disputes escalate quickly. Gang presence plays a central role. Chicago's street gangs do not disappear at the jail gate. Affiliations follow people inside. Housing decisions, access to phones, and movement within units are shaped by gang dominance. In some divisions, gangs effectively control entire tiers. Detainees align for protection or survival. Neutrality is rare. Refusal to affiliate can invite retaliation. Overcrowding amplifies every risk. Housing units designed for far fewer people are routinely filled beyond capacity. Dorm-style units place dozens of detainees in open spaces with limited supervision. Cells meant for 1 or 2 people may hold more. When tensions rise, there is little room to separate individuals or cool conflicts. Space becomes a weapon. Staffing shortages compound the problem. For years, the jail struggles to maintain adequate numbers of correctional officers. Absenteeism is high. Mandatory overtime is common. Burnout is widespread. In some housing units, a single officer oversees dozens of detainees. Response times slow. Officers hesitate to intervene without backup. Violence can unfold unchecked. Surveillance exists, but it does not prevent every assault. Cameras record incidents after they happen. They do not stop them in real time. Blind spots remain. In crowded dorms, officers cannot observe every interaction. When fights erupt, they spread quickly. Makeshift weapons appear. Locks and bars provide containment, not safety. Mental illness is one of the jail's defining realities. A large percentage of detainees suffer from serious psychiatric disorders. Schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, major depression, and trauma-related conditions are common. Many arrive untreated or inconsistently medicated. Some deteriorate rapidly once confined. At one point, Cook County Jail is widely described as one of the largest mental health institutions in the United States. This label reflects a failure of community care, not a strength of jail services. The facility is not designed or staffed to function as a hospital. Treatment is limited. Isolation is frequent. Crisis intervention is inconsistent. People experiencing psychosis or severe emotional distress are often placed in segregation for control, not care. These units restrict movement and human contact. For someone with mental illness, isolation can worsen symptoms. Self-harm incidents rise. Suicide attempts occur. Deaths are investigated after the fact. Federal authorities take notice. In 2010, the U.S. Department of Justice opens a civil rights investigation into conditions at the jail. The inquiry focuses on use of force and the treatment of detainees with mental illness. Findings point to unconstitutional practices. Excessive force is documented. De-escalation is inconsistent. Training is inadequate. A consent decree follows. The jail agrees to reforms under federal oversight. Policies are revised. Training programs expand. Crisis intervention teams are introduced. Progress is measured slowly, and setbacks occur. Violence does not disappear. Oversight continues for years. Civil lawsuits add to the record. Families of deceased detainees file wrongful death claims. Former detainees describe assaults, neglect, and prolonged isolation. Officers also sue over unsafe working conditions. Settlements cost the county millions of dollars. Each case adds documentation, not resolution. Pretrial detention shapes every outcome. Because most detainees are legally innocent, the jail's violence carries a distinct moral weight. People enter the facility accused, not convicted. Yet they face risks similar to those in maximum security prisons. Punishment begins before any verdict. Cash bail policies play a role. For decades, people with limited financial resources remain jailed while wealthier defendants secure release. This dynamic concentrates poverty, instability, and untreated illness inside the facility. Reform efforts reduce reliance on cash bail, but population pressures persist. Short stays do not guarantee safety. Even brief confinement exposes people to violence. Intake units are especially volatile. New arrivals are anxious, intoxicated, or in withdrawal. Classification is rushed. Mistakes are made. Conflicts begin immediately. Medical care struggles to keep pace. Chronic understaffing affects nurses, doctors, and mental health professionals. Appointments are delayed. Medications run out. Emergency responses are reactive. In a violent environment, untreated medical issues escalate quickly. The physical infrastructure shows its age. Many divisions are decades old. Sightlines are poor. Ventilation is limited. Fixtures are damaged or improvised. Aging design limits modern supervision strategies. Renovations are slow and costly. Violence also affects staff culture. Officers work under constant stress. Some adopt defensive or aggressive postures. Trust between staff and detainees erodes. Communication breaks down. When authority is challenged, force becomes the default response. Training reforms attempt to change this dynamic. De-escalation techniques are emphasized. Body-worn cameras are introduced. Use of force reviews increase. These measures improve transparency but do not eliminate the underlying pressures of overcrowding and instability. The jail's location in a major urban center adds complexity. Chicago's crime patterns influence intake volume. Police practices affect who enters the system. Court backlogs delay release. Each external factor compounds internal strain. Media attention spikes after high-profile deaths or riots. Headlines fade, but conditions remain. Reform efforts proceed unevenly. Administrations change. Policies shift. The jail continues to operate at scale. For detainees with mental illness, daily survival becomes the primary task. Treatment plans are secondary. Stability is rare. For others, gang affiliation offers protection but increases risk. Violence becomes normalized. Silence becomes a coping strategy. The jail represents a broader failure of pretrial detention in the United States. It illustrates what happens when confinement replaces care and control substitutes for treatment. Legal innocence offers no shield against harm. Cook County Jail does not exist in isolation. It reflects systemic choices about policing, prosecution, and social services. When mental health systems fail, jails absorb the consequences. When courts delay, detention lengthens. When resources shrink, violence fills the gap. Despite reforms, the core reality persists. A massive population, rapid turnover, limited staffing, and untreated illness create an environment where safety is fragile. Every day passes without certainty. Every movement carries risk. The people inside await decisions that shape their futures. Some are released. Some are transferred to prisons after conviction. Some leave carrying trauma. Some do not leave alive. This is not an anomaly. It is a functioning part of the American justice system. It operates quietly, continuously, and at scale. The violence is not accidental. It is structural. Cook County Jail stands as a warning. When pretrial detention expands without safeguards, confinement itself becomes dangerous. Long before any court verdict is reached, harm is already done.